streaming for the day.
So if she calls tomorrow, you'll, if, you know, one of us will talk to her.
Okay. Doot doot doot. Fa la la.
Oh.
Maurice is first.
I'm first.
Mike is first.
I'm always first.
What's up, Kevin? Mike, if you ain't first, you're last.
Hell, Chris, you could be second, third. Hell, you can even be fourth.
Fourth. I was high. Know what I was saying? I lived my whole life by that. What's up, Brandon? Trinity, how we doing?
Okay.
That's a first.
What's that turkey? You say 13 or 15?
15. 15-pound gobbler. What's up, Paul? Paul Dar. Dar. Dar.
Wait, I'll go to Turkey Day.
He's going to his parentals. He's going to have parental day. What's up, James?
We're gonna deep fry
West
turkey
Wireless, how we
right
doing?
now.
How we doing? Taking this iPhone 7 apart here so I can look stupid on stream. This will be the first iPhone 7 searching no service that I've run into, and I'm hoping that it is a power IC issue for the baseband and not the baseband itself.
Shit balls, fire.
That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it's baseband PMIC. I hope it's not PMU. It's PMU. Or, well, CPU, excuse me. Baseband CPU will be no bueno. PMU I can deal with. CPU is right next to the main CPU for the system, so I really don't want to have to dick with that. Not my first choice. Alright, so it looks like we've got some signs of possible pressure. Looking at the back here, we've got some imprints for some components. So, possibly a phone that was crushed a little bit. See if there's any obvious physical damage anywhere. It's underfill. I'll probably have to open up ZXW and see which one is the baseband PMIC. I think it might be that one there.
I'm not gonna take the business card since I'm gonna have to buy a few things too. Yeah. So I don't have to go back to Walmart.
Okay.
Do you have anything that needs to go in the bank or no?
Oh, there's cash in my wallet we can put in. The phone's on. What's up, man? Aaron?
I got checks too.
Yeah, we can't deposit that one though, remember?
Not until what date?
It's 7 years from now.
No, like
2 weeks.
a week and a half, yeah. One check. For this place.
Alright, iPhone 7. Switch you all over so you can see it. I was watching Joseph's accidental stream.
I'm gonna leave this in our wallet.
-2 was a connection failure? Oh, to like Apple's servers? Hey, I guessed correctly. So baseband PMU is that one. So it's this one right here, which is the chip that we looked at a second ago. Now, I guess the next question is, why would it fail? Let's check around for some shorts. What's up, Alex? Maybe we have a short on one of the output caps. Not reading anything in particular there. Let's see. I wouldn't think that let's get a close-up view and see if we see anything that sticks out at us. Nobody around here looks necessarily burnt. And of course the schematic I have doesn't match up because ZXW hasn't figured out that there's more than one version of these boards yet. So I'm going to have to kind of hunt and peck around here and see. So let me grab the board holder. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull PMIC and or the baseband PMU and see what we got. See if there's anything that sticks out. If not, we'll grab. I've got a 7+ parts board, so hopefully we get the same part number on there. I would suspect we do. Turn my heat back up here. The obvious 4013 drop damage. What was that, Alex? What was the obvious part of it? Try to cover up anybody important here. Oh, broken off coils. Which coils were broken? Around the CPU? Top side of my basement? Okay. Yeah, I've seen the problem with the 7s that I've noticed is the iPhone 7 seems to be very rigid and tends to break very easily. So most of the problems that I have seen have stemmed from drops that lead to non-functioning phones. I'm trying to find this chip online. Here we go, found it. It's coming up as an iPhone 4S chip. That ain't right. So it's a PMB. Let's see here. What do they have on this board?
Hello.
Clear.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I just want to check on my son's iPad, Dylan
Okay.
Jackson.
Dylan Jackson. What was it here? Green
I
or...
think so.
Okay. For Dylan Jackson.
Dylan Jackson.
Dylan like D-Y-L-A-N.
Yeah.
D-I-L.
That's how our mom picked it. I would have picked it like that, Dylan. Well, I guess she had the right to pick it.
Don't think the LCD panels came with this one.
The iPad mini.
With the, I mean, it's a new.
Yeah, you guys were thinking it'd be like the end of last week. That's what you said when I was here dropping it off. But
Let me
it
see.
is what it is. But
Sure.
What model is it?
Like the mini.
Should be ready.
Mini 2.
Mini 2? Okay.
Oh, we have first gen. iPad.
Mini 1?
Yeah, mini 1, 32, 14, 32.
Okay. Go back there and check and see if it's in the box or not.
I told him, you said you had a used one for about the same price, but he didn't want to transfer all of his stuff, and if it's going to be the same anyway, he thought he'd just keep that one. But
Yeah. Let's see where we got that from. It's not on the order list. Check the other ones. Okay, so when we ordered that, because we ordered screens for other ones too.
he's staring at Thanksgiving break without his toys, so he's like, can you check it out?
Alright. Well, then it didn't get ordered then.
It's all batteries for everything else.
I'll let it know that it's still out there somewhere.
You wouldn't have ordered it any farther than there, would you?
Mm-mm.
I wouldn't have bothered yet, but you know, I thought maybe there was something with the phone numbers or who knows what. And you guys seem to think it'd be done at the end of last week. Like,
Yeah, it should have been ordered. I don't think it was.
yeah.
Sorry about that. I'll go ahead and order it now.
All right.
Can you add it to that order I just did?
I'll try to, yeah.
I think Seth said you have to call it.
We'll call him.
Makes not much difference to me, but I know he'll appreciate it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll
Alright.
get it added on.
This order will be in on Thursday, so I'll give you a call.
So you think maybe if it's in on Thursday, you think
It'll be done Thursday.
It'll be done Thursday before we close,
Okay.
yeah.
What number you got for it, just to make sure we're all good on that?
I'll have to check that paper.
My daughter's had stuff. We're surely in her system. Daughter's had a couple things fixed.
What's her name?
Well, Dylan Jackson's the name of the one on this one.
Okay.
Not there.
No.
It's
here
on
it
the
is.
paperwork.
Okay.
We have fallen through the cracks completely, huh?
What's that
No,
phone
it's on the
number?
paperwork.
Yeah, we can do it.
270-842-3039.
Yep, that's it, buddy.
Okay,
I appreciate it.
No
Now I
problem.
get him off my back at least.
Alrighty.
Thank you guys.
No problem. Do you not order it?
No, it didn't get ordered because he said he was going to call back and let us know what to do. He didn't know if his son wanted to buy that iPad mini one we already had, which was $5 more, or if he wanted the screen replaced. He never called and let us know.
I should have told him that.
Yeah, why didn't you say that then?
Because he's going to throw a fit either way. It sounded like he already had his mind made up to do it.
Okay, well. If the customer says that, write it on the paperwork.
Alright.
That way you can be like, well, it was never called on. It says here you were supposed to call us.
Alright.
It may have to, I don't know if they may be able to put it on, but
It hasn't shipped, it's just been confirmed, so.
I know. Let me try to get the thing
Well. Then suck a dick. We just spent $800 with them today. I hope they can add it on to for free.
What's that phone number? Oh. The 202 number?
Huh?
Is it the number at the top, I assume? And what is it?
iPad Mini 1 LCD. This one we had ordered some in the past, but we didn't.
LCD.
Yes. What's up, Lucas? Alright. Let's snag. This is a 7 Plus, but hopefully it has the same chip.
Yes, I was calling to see if I could add on an item to the order that I just placed a little bit ago.
Let's get a
It's
different
for
chip.
ground, I do believe. We spent over 500, so we did the free shipping thing.
So there's a different power chip. Sweet.
Oh, okay. That's okay, then I'll just do it online. Thanks. So they already left.
They already left.
Yeah,
All UPS.
I guess. FedEx ground. He said ground already left for the day.
Is that on their cutoff?
Yeah, well, I told you earlier I had 19 minutes, and I got it in before that.
Okay.
iPad mini.
Let's looks like we'll reball SPMU and see what happens. I don't think it's gonna work though.
It's just regular iPad mini, right?
Yeah, it's mini one.
Okay, because it doesn't say one. It just says iPad. What color is it, Michael?
Black. It won't matter. It's
Well,
an LCD. Yeah.
LCD. Okay.
This is the only problem working with iPhone 7s. Can't source shit for chips. Not yet, at least.
Do we have the glass? It's gonna cost us $43.
Toast Factor. Well, just go ahead and order all the small parts then, make it worthwhile.
Okay.
Try to mark off the 7 lenses,
Oh,
the iPhone 7 lenses that we have.
So I was gonna do that order tomorrow. If I had this, I was thinking this one.
Hmm. Let's see here. That's the wrong pitch. That's the wrong pitch. That's the right pitch. Hello from the other side. Hello from the other side. And almost died. Alright. Reball the IC that probably doesn't work. Because we don't have a replacement. What's up, Yassine?
Well, I hope you can. I was in here yesterday, and I bought this, and y'all put it on my phone for me.
Okay.
And my son talked me into going to a different service,
Okay.
and we'd talked about it before. I wanted to get the case for this, and if y'all would,
Just exchange it back. Everything in here.
yeah, everything's in there, and I've got my receipt here if I pay for it.
What is the new phone?
It's an iPhone, and it looks like it would fit. It's an iPhone SE.
SE.
It's
Okay.
a SE.
Okay. We have
What kind of phone is that?
Huh.
What kind of phone was it originally?
5C.
Yeah, it won't fit.
So are they out here?
Yeah, they'll be
It'll
out.
be the 5S series.
Should be on this side, I believe. The 5S's.
On the right side, or right or left.
Left side.
Got some pretty ones in it. Got the pink. Now which one is that? What do I have, a commuter or a
You have a Defender.
Defenders, I need to get, might not have a Defender for that then. Let's see. You have the,
I'll have to look. I don't know what it's.
I'm sorry.
Sure, you're fine.
I'm not a good person. See, you've got the, oh, here's a Defender.
Yeah, they may be in that one.
That's what you have to do. Here's one. 5S. Is that what it is?
It'll work, won't it?
Yes.
Oh, that's, yeah.
The 5S will work?
Mm-hmm.
And that one.
It's like $5 more or something. It's kind of pink too.
That's, yeah, it's 30. The other one's 25.
So this is 5-5S.
It'll work the same. They're made the same.
Alright. And I will give you some money.
Did you have anything fixed or you just said an accessory yesterday?
I just got the accessory. Now Amy was with me and y'all had, y'all were fixing something for her.
Okay. Maybe I didn't. Probably the last thing. And that one I'll just
Stay up there.
Okay. I just did a food accessory, so I'll just find that one.
I didn't bring any cash. Y'all take a card.
Yeah, we do.
Should bank transfer, y'all be closed.
No, probably still 7.
iPhone 6 Plus, no touch, no enable. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. It's not searching anymore. Ooh. I don't know if it'll focus on it or not. Let's see here.
I was trying to make it do one, but it's weird.
Well, we'll do it on this camera then. Modem Firmware is back. So, let me read the SIM card. see.
That makes it $5.30. I have to make it right in that little.
Okay. Can I go ahead and put it in there?
Yeah. I didn't think it did.
No. No.
Yep. We get an IMEI number now, which we weren't getting before. And it has, this SIM card's not active, so it's not service, but it's working.
I thought I would get to keep my phone, but
They wouldn't even do it.
said that was too old for the technology.
Wow.
Um,
Which service did you go to?
T-Mobile,
who were you originally with?
Bluegrass.
It would have worked.
The technology, they said.
That's
They just told you
that's
that.
a lie. Yeah.
It's a lie?
Yeah.
Well, it's the iPhone.
Yours is the phone they gave you is newer, but your 5C would work on their service. Bluegrass is Verizon, and Verizon phones are factory unlocked, and they will work with T-Mobile or AT&T.
There was something about it that they had something, an upgrade, and it wouldn't do the upgrade. This, my granddaughter's phone does.
What'd she
And
have?
she's with Bluegrass also.
What did she have?
It's not an old one like mine. It's a newer one that's bigger.
Okay.
Six
I mean-
something. She had a 6 something and mine was a 5.
Unless something changed like this year, they've always worked on T-Mobile. Do you have your 5C with you?
Uh-huh.
Let me see your 5S. I just want to test something. It won't affect anything. I'm just gonna see if it'll get signal.
Did you get everything in
Yeah,
here?
you're good.
Y'all are the gurus down here. I'm glad Amy told me about y'all. What's this little gadget for?
Somewhere those. I can't remember what they do. It says on here.
Did it unlock it or something?
What's your passcode?
1406.
Headphone adapter.
Oh, it's a headphone adapter. Oh, got a lens. What is this little gadget here?
Does it come with
Installation instructions. If y'all can install it, I
Yeah, I
don't have
can
to
make-
read the instructions. That'll be fine.
I'll make Chris or Micah do it.
Y'all are. They couldn't even move my. I have to download some kind of
Okay,
app.
so I took the SIM card from this phone, which is the one they gave you, and I put it in here. I run a test. Let's see what it says here. And let's see if it'll make a phone call.
It hadn't been switched over yet, I don't think.
It hasn't.
No, I don't think so. But I had to port the number from Bluegrass to them. They give me a temporary number for the new phone. It does work.
Yeah, like I said, unless they change something this year, it would work.
We put us on here together.
Mm-hmm.
So you just told me a tale.
Yeah,
They
it
like
sounds
to
like
make
they
their
just
sales.
wanted to sell a phone.
Well, you want me to go? Maybe I should go back out there and tell them I'm going to keep all my numbers and that I checked it out and it does work.
I don't, unless there's something that unless they specifically say some feature's not gonna work. I don't know. From my experience and from what I understand,
They
Well-
couldn't port my numbers, my phone numbers to that new phone either
did they say why?
because it's an older phone. It wouldn't go, and they tried and it didn't work.
Yeah, they were trying to use the app, the transfer app. That's
No,
what
they
it was.
they told me I could do it with the app, but
Okay.
I need to go in and get the app, but they couldn't with whatever
There's a
this.
little
see.
thing that they plug everything into.
But and my Apple ID, I couldn't get it to work, so I'm gonna go home and see. I usually write down my passwords and stuff.
You should be able to. This 5C, you should be able to back this up with iTunes and restore this phone, and everything on here will be on here, exactly the same.
With iTunes.
Mm-hmm. Through your computer. I don't know how they couldn't do it with their setup, but
So I need to go into iTunes.
yes, ma'am.
I might have to have y'all help me with that. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they said it wouldn't work. I mean, the only thing I can think is that either they didn't know what they were talking about, or they were just trying to sell you a phone.
Well, they at first said that it would work,
Yeah, that makes sense.
that I wouldn't have to get a new phone.
I mean, I didn't do anything tricky. You just pop the SIM card in it and go.
Okay, I'm gonna go back out.
Yeah, I would check and make sure, because there's no sense in you paying more for something you don't need.
Y'all are awesome.
There's that one. There's the 5C.
Oh, but if I keep that phone now, I don't need this.
That's fine. We'll swap it back out.
Yeah, just hang on to it.
You want me to take it, and then then I can come back and get my old one if I.
Yeah,
if I-
that's fine.
I can leave it over here if you
Oh,
want.
yeah. Uh-oh, what is this screen on here? Oh, it's just something.
It was just open. I had pressed something with my finger.
Okay. All right. I guess it'll be a real good thing if I come back.
Yeah.
By phone, so.
I mean, unless they were giving you that phone for free, I don't know.
No, it's not a free phone.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Alrighty. You're welcome. Alrighty.
Send all my friends to y'all.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Alright, so
I think they just wanted to
how
sell
did
it.
this come out? So on this phone, this one had searching no service. It had no modem firmware. I'm not sure if it was from a drop or what, but I reballed the baseband PMIC or PMU, whatever you want to call it. I did not replace it because I don't have a replacement here. I just reballed the actual one that was on the board, put it back on, and it works now. It gets service. It has modem firmware now, and it no longer says searching whenever the phone is turning on. It says no SIM if there's no SIM in it, and it says SIM if there is. So the only thing I can think is it just got damaged from a drop and caused it to lose connection. And by taking it off, reballing it, and putting it back on, it solved that issue. Sorry, I was talking to a customer if y'all were asking questions. But that's the life of working here. You have to answer questions. Can't ignore. Chances of return? I don't think it would. I mean, obviously whatever the issue was a problem with that PMIC, I would think. I mean, maybe it's baseband related and just heating up below the baseband got it to work temporarily. Only one way to find out is put it out in the world and see what happens. Fluke, if you're looking for a cheap one and don't need all the bells and whistles, the 15B is a great option. It's what I have, 15B Plus. The 17B Plus has more options, but technically the 13B, the 15B, and the 17B all have the same options. It's just the plastic cover they put on it blocks off certain features. The buttons are actually on the board. You can access them. But the 15B is pretty good. How much it costs to get it done? Like this stuff? Something like this, probably 80 bucks. Just because we had to open the board, pull it, had to pull the back shielding off, had to pull chip, reball, put back on. No, I'll put it back together here. No biggie. Now, as far as the i7 series goes, I've seen a lot of problems that are related to drops with them. And like I said, the only thing that I can figure is these are just so much more rigid as far as the board design goes that they just have problems with it. We've seen a lot of SD RAM shorts caused by drops. We've seen I've seen quite a few searching no service i7s. If they're all baseband PMU, that's awesome. You won't do the job for 80. Well, these are businesses that we deal with a lot. Aaron's been a diehard customer for us. He's been there for a while. Now, if a customer walks in off the street, something like this is $125 or so.
Jackson's. Jackson.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey. Alright.
Is my phone held hostage?
It's not held hostage. I think I tried giving you a call on it and I couldn't get a hold of you. I tried doing NAND on it. That seems rough, right? Okay. We try doing NAND.
Alright. Alright, sir. Thank you. Stop, please. He said it's dead. The phone is dead.
No fixie.
No fix.
Which one was that?
That was when we I ran through the ultrasonic and
Oh,
it
yeah.
finally came on, and then it 4013'd, and then you tried doing NAND and it didn't work out.
4013 and still no change. Still 4013.
Yeah.
Baseband powers were all present. Or not baseband, but NAND powers were all present. TriStar got replaced too. How much for 4013 iPhone 7? I've got a whole box of them, so depending on what's causing them will kind of dictate what they cost. But if it's NAND problems, it's going to be, usually it's around 80-90 bucks just to remove the NAND plus the cost of the NAND. Depending on the size, they're pretty expensive. 256 gig NAND is like 70 bucks, 80 bucks, right in that range. So you'd be looking at 160, 190, or 180, I mean, right in that area. If it's NAND related, which good chance is it's not. 4013 is such a broad error. a lot of people are like, well, how do you fix it? How do you fix it? Well, 4013 in some cases is the NAND itself. 4013 sometimes is NAND powers. 4013 sometimes could be like a TriStar issue. It could be possibly an I2C issue where it's pulling something low and it's messing it up. Could be a power problem. I mean, it's hard to say. There's no, please bro, what fixes this solution for 4013. Now if you said, well, my iPhone 6 has no backlight and I've never gotten it wet, I would probably be like, well, you probably have a shorted cap on output. Because those you can please bro. Because there's common errors. I have not seen common errors for 4013 yet. If you know them, that'd be awesome, because it gives me something to troubleshoot a little quicker. But in my experience, I have not seen a common issue between them. Where am I located? In Bowling Green, Kentucky. Honestly, the 4013 is something I don't spend a whole lot of time on, just because most of the time it's a rabbit hole that you're never going to solve. So when we get them in, they're going to get pushed to the back of the line, and then they're not going to have a crazy amount of time putting into them unless there's something obvious that might be causing the problem. Like if we find a dead short somewhere or there's a missing power rail. I mean, 4013 could easily be a CPU data line's broken, and I'm not going to pull the CPU and reball it for $80.
I'll do it. Can't guarantee it won't work.
I can guarantee it won't work. I think that's one problem that I've seen with this industry. Like, it's not valued very well. So customers walk in, they're like, "How much to fix this?" And you tell them, like, "I ain't spending that much."
So 5S and 5SE has the same front camera.
That's what Mobile Centrist does. So I assume so.
Okay.
I mean, they work. We put them on both models.
And I'll just get 5 of those.
This battery's dead.
Oh, no, you wanted 3 and 3, so I'll get 6 of those.
Thank you, Greg. So we're going to move on to our next device. Put this one back in the packaging.
We do. Yep. Let's see. If you want an OEM Apple screen, like that just has new glass on it, it is $140. If you want an aftermarket screen, which is just like a copy screen, that
Oh, the paper.
I just don't want to feel like they set enough. It's $120 plus tax.
So we've got here.
About 30 minutes or so. Yeah, I mean, you can come in any day, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. You're
Okay.
welcome.
So this one's baseband. Error -1 on the 6 Plus. blurry cameras. Alright, so we'll start on the blurry cameras one. And we'll go from there. These are from Miguel. So this one, the LDO was destroyed. Put the new LDO on. The cameras work. Phone is dead, of course. Yeah, it's kind of dumb that ZXW only allows you to rotate the board view by 180 degrees. Doesn't make any sense. What's the chance of an LG G3, G4 working after removing EMC? Can you place it back? Can you put it back on? I mean, yeah. Is it going to work? Probably not. The reason that they usually fail is because of the CPU problem, not the memory. What is a difficult problem that I have fixed? I mean, liquid damage in general is kind of a difficult problem, and we fixed quite a few of those. Let me check this 6 Plus while we're waiting. I mean, we've solved quite a few issues. Some are more difficult than others, I guess. Difficulty, I guess, is kind of in who's doing it. If you don't know what you're doing, everything's difficult. Air 9 EEPROM, yeah, that one was fun. The Air 9 EEPROM we had to cut into the CPU. We have a customer has an LG that has an OS issue, wants data off. So I told her we can send to you, but you can put it back in the phone. She doesn't want to reset it to fix the issue because the GUI is stopped. Yeah, I mean, I can take it off and try to put it back on. Some of those are easier than others. Was I ever at Mudfest? I have no idea what Mudfest is. Alright. Let's plug in this battery and see what this thing does. Kaboom. No, I've never been to that fire. I think I know what you're talking about. That's not good. It's caused the pressure point in the LCD with having the screen closed. Okay. Can you hand me the charge cable over there?
The iPhone Lightning?
Yeah. The aluminum work mat? No. Micah's gonna use it. I use a little silicone baking sheet, but Micah wants to use the aluminum workstation. We'll put it down there at the news store. Alright, so we're going to try to flash this phone and see if it gives us the same error that he was getting. Good night, Roy. Uber 2016 data breach is getting a lot of coverage on Twitter. I've never used Uber, so I'm good. It's gonna suck. It's got a pressure point on the screen. See it? Where the battery connector was folded back and they closed the screen, so hopefully that will go away, but I don't know. It's pretty.
Great video, Chris. Thanks, Jerry.
You're welcome. Thank you for the donation. Hey Paul, what's going on? We got all the Pauls today. Long time no see. Yeah, LG GPU. I don't even know if it's GPU. I think it's the RAM itself, or maybe it's the SoC, but most of the time on those we just heat it up enough to get it to boot up, take the data off and be done with it. If that doesn't work, we'll pull the EMC off and read it. But usually you can reheat the SoC just enough to get it to boot, to get the data off. What am I getting for Black Friday? What to get for Black Friday?
Big ass TV.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, TV's always going stupid sales.
Not one of those cheap ass Westinghouse bullshit.
The Westinghouse. I really like the Samsung that we have. I bet it'll be cheap this year.
Yeah, it is. I've already seen.
Which model though? Because there's two different curved ones.
What do we have?
Ours is like a K55. The other one's like a Q or something like that.
Okay.
Is there like
Some of them are just standard curved 4K, and then ours is the quantum dot 4K.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, they've gotten considerably cheaper. They were cheaper before we weren't able to buy them anymore. They got down to like $8.99. Replacing CPU phones still coming back. You talking about on a G4? I mean, honestly, those phones are so issue prone, it's just not worth the hassle. I had to turn the autofocus off on this camera because it was flipping the fuck out. It's pretty annoying. So waiting for this to get to the baseband and see if it fails. -1 though, I don't know if they'll fail with -1 from a fracture under baseband or not, or if that's a PMU or baseband PMU issue. It's a hard one to call there. So Looks like the focusing on the camera. The front camera is okay, it's the rear camera is not focusing. The front camera might be grainy, but yeah, the front camera is extremely grainy. Almost makes me wonder if the LDOs maybe not putting out appropriate power or something.
Hey Chris, what's the difference here? There's back camera small flex, and then there's the regular back camera. I know these are the ones you get.
What is it?
Back camera small flex.
Oh, that's not important.
Okay.
It's a
I just wanted to make sure. I knew that was the one that was.
it's an aftermarket screen. Looks like shit. Alright, baseband failed update. Alright, cool. So we can confirm that one. Let's open up this 6 and see what's going on here. The cameras, the back one doesn't focus and the front ones are grainy. It almost seems like it's a... The rear one has like a line down it. You can see like there's a clear difference in the image quality in it. Are you able to replace the connector on the flex cable with 5S? Like which part? The LCD? Yeah, I can replace those. It's not terribly hard. You can do it too. I actually have a screen or a video of doing it on stream. If you want to do it yourself.
You need any loudspeakers for 6s?
No, they rarely fail. If we need to get them, we'll just order them.
Okay.
We probably have plenty here.
You can just split it up and take it.
Yeah.
Take it to you down
Alright, so let's look over here in this LDO section.
there. We have 12 more sections to order. Of 16.
Okay, so the LDO has been replaced.
I like the batteries.
Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and power this down and see. See if there's any obvious signs. He said he put new cameras on here and it didn't fix it. Looks like he's been checking everything around it. Okay, so if memory serves me right, I believe the iPhone 6 rear camera has an autofocus line, which has to do with the power for the stabilizing motor. So let's look and see. iPhone 6. So ground. Okay, so there it is. It's PP rear cam AF con. So that's should be autofocus. Where does it pull from? It's a 1V8 line. It also feeds the rear camera down here too. So let's check these filters. Yes, the iPhone 7 was fixed by reballing the baseband PMU. Okay, so that filter's good. That filter's good.
Ordering stuff for the shop in Franklin. Did you?
Okay. That looks fine.
Okay, she got it. How much have they already done everything, or is she? Let's get, how much does that make the payment? It's better than it was, isn't it? Well, I mean, what it was gonna be. Yeah, and then it can fluctuate.
Chris, how are you today?
Good.
Yeah.
Micah, do you have a iPhone 6 over there that you pulled that battery out of? Does it have rear camera in it? Can you pull that real quick?
Do what?
How long have I been fixing? iPhones 3
Yeah.
years. Board repair for 3 years. We're doing Macs for 5, 6 years.
Do what? Yeah.
Yeah, it's same chip. Rhino.
Yeah, anytime that, sometimes when you refinance, the insurance company did that too.
Reball SD RAM. 1000% fixed, bro. So I'm going to test these individually with the front camera disconnected and connected. Let's see if we get any difference. Was this our phone?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and throw the battery back in it.
It was
Okay.
parts phone. It was locked.
Oh, it was parts phone? Okay, never mind.
That's
Just
good.
leave that. I'll put it in my bag over here. I'll use it for
Is
testing.
this the extension flex? Because it doesn't say long flex. The other one
Yes,
says
that's
long.
it.
Okay.
The other phone
I'll
that
talk to you
I
later.
pulled the battery
Alright.
out of, I
I'll
wrote
have you
needs
back.
battery on it. So whenever we get the new batteries over.
Can you send a screen to replace the touch connection? I mean, I can replace the flex on it. Not the actual long flex, but just the connector on the flex. Try front without back camera on. I'm going to try both. Y'all seen? I'm going to do the rear camera first with no front flex plugged in, and then we'll do vice versa. We'll see if maybe there's an issue with like a data line or something. I don't know if these, I don't believe these share data lines. Alright, so new rear camera in.
Their website's taking forever. Like, everything's online.
Yeah, so it focuses now with the rear camera for the new one. Let me turn off the brightness so I can make sure. Yep, so now it's focusing with the rear camera. We can zoom in on Hillary and actually focus on Hillary. Where before, when we focused, it wouldn't do anything. It would just sit there and not focus. Still pretty grainy though. I'm not for sure how clear the iPhone 6 photo stuff is. I mean, it's pretty clear. So let's disconnect power. And let's hook up the front camera and see how it looks. Maybe the rear camera was causing issues. Fingers crossed. You have two with the same failure? Yeah, I mean, it's not going to hurt to try that. Turning. Camera glass is clean. Fairly clean. It's not... The graininess looks to be coming from the digital focus, not from anything else. We'll clean up the front here. Inside the phone. It's not like blurry. It's grainy looking. Like, you know how you can get like you can see the different colored pixels. I mean, it focuses on the rear camera now. I don't know if it's the LCD or if it's the front camera. Like I said, I don't have many iPhones, so as far as camera issues, like, I don't know if you all can see the graininess in it or not. Yeah, you can see it. See in the black there, how it has a lot of like green and red pixels? The camera is really pixelated. It's even worse in video mode. See all the pixels on the screen? Almost looks like the screen has dirt all over it. I'm gonna try a new screen real quick. Maybe this is a screen problem. It wasn't focusing, that's for sure, but now it focuses, but it's still, yeah, it's white noise. That's really what it is like. But I don't know that it's necessarily the camera causing it. Can you grab me an iPhone 6 screen? Regular 6?
Yeah. They're out of the 6S, 6S Plus home button.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
regular 6.
Yeah. We'll see if this is a panel problem, because that's an aftermarket panel, and I don't trust them all the time. It looks like a Mobile Centrics, which they tend to carry decent stuff, but not all the time.
A ton of screens just wrapped in plastic back there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and unpack them.
You look like that guy that always goes to those birthday massacre shows.
What is it?
There's a guy. Whenever I go see the birthday massacre,
Does it have a silver sticker on it? Yeah.
like he's always there.
That,
Like, I'm
whatever
always
the
there.
fuck it is. I don't know. Has a number 11 on it. That's a much better looking screen.
Turkeys.
This screen just looks so... Like, they just look really faded. You can see the gridding in the panel too if you hold it at a certain angle. You can see the digitizer gridding. With these, can't see nothing. Clean. Alright. Panel looks so much cleaner too. Now let's see if our camera looks... We don't have front camera, but we'll have rear. It still has the noise in the image.
Except for like in front of the little Chinese place.
It still has that graininess to it.
I want to go there because it's 48 cents a pound for phone.
See the graininess there? The pixelation.
My friend Leslie posted it yesterday because she works, it's like assistant department manager or something, so she
Yeah.
posted that. Like,
Cheap copy, Mobile Centrics copies, and
Going to your parents, Micah?
Yeah.
looks like a bad camera. Scoop, I put two of them. The original that was on here and this one both have the same pixelation though. Let me look at the data lines here. That's the only thing I can think is, but I don't think those chokes are shared. So, yeah, they're completely different lines. I don't know, this is weird. Because these cameras don't share data lines, so it can't be a data line issue. They do share main power. I could change the LDO again. He said on his paperwork that the LDO was destroyed when he swapped it out. I don't know that they share any other line though. Let's see, we'll go through the schematic here and see if you all see anything. Filter. That's clock line. The I2C lines here are not going to be for image though. I would think they would only be for camera enabling and like temperature sensors and stuff. So there's an I2C line directly to the AP processor. And it's a 1v8 pull-up. I mean, that camera is good, the one I put on there. That's our temp sensor right there. Camera temp sensor. This is the only shared line between the two. iPhone 6, yeah. Nivaldo, pull it off a broken screen. What's up, Dirt? Yes, it's an iPhone 6. So let's well, for the hell of it, I'm gonna replace the LDO again. What about video? Video's even grainier. The camera IC jumper. You don't want to jump the camera IC. That IC is there for a reason. It takes the VCC main voltage and it's supposed to drop it to a smooth, regulated 2.8 volts. Removing it and jumping it is then introducing dirty power. Okay, LDO's off. Grab a new LDO. I've lost a lot of these from tipping my thing over the other day. Need to order them again. The LDO it doesn't have to be there, but if you want it to work properly and not drain the battery and not destroy the cameras, yes, it has to be there.
Is all I felt again.
So technically it doesn't have to be there, but if you want it to work correctly, it should be. Alright,
So
so
do you want 1 10-pack of each color? Or
on which one?
for the back camera lens for 6?
Yes.
1 10-pack. No.
What?
Because it says 4. Like, I'm just gonna read this.
look like it's set down crooked as shit. Oh yeah. I'm gonna pull that back off, do another one. Not sit down right at all.
Just hit $1,000.
Try the camera in a dark place. I can do that. You look. What the hell is that? It's like Justin Bieber.
It's Justin Bieber with Steve Buscemi.
Alright. That's set down properly. Yeah, nice and level. Let's clean that up now. FPC, like on the board or on the camera, or I mean on the screen, Navaldo. If you're talking about on the screen, pull it from other screens, like broken screens. If you're talking about on the board, you can buy them online, or you can pull them from boards. Let's put our camera back in. Put our screen back on. We'll get back up here.
Oh, the next diary is coming out on December the 2nd.
Oh, cool.
And then I
On the
can
board?
foundation.
Yeah, you can pull them from parts board, so you can buy them online. Microsoldering supply.com is where I buy a lot of my FPCs and stuff. Alright, so with the new camera LDO, we have solved our solution. We fixed our problem. New camera LDO, there's no graininess. See there? Clear. No graininess anymore. We'll switch to the front camera. And the front camera is the same way. No more graininess. So front camera. There's no more graininess in it. So that's what it was. It was the LDO. LDO was probably sending dirty power to the... Here, I'll put my hand in front of the camera. You can see.
It's just taking forever. Like, I click
It's
edit,
no longer
and
grainy.
it just
So
spinning.
before, whenever I zoomed in, like it would pixelate immediately. Now it doesn't pixelate unless I make it completely black. Even then, it doesn't even pixelate. It's just normal. Alright, cool. So LDO was the issue. We had a bad rear camera, wasn't focusing, and we had a bad LDO causing static in the image. So we will leave that camera in there. we will put his shield back on and be done with it. You don't know where to buy one for the Digitizer Touch. They sell them on Micro Soldering Supply. How much longer am I going to stream? Well, I don't close it till 7, so we'll keep on going until we're done.
Get off there.
Are you yelling at me?
Time cards.
Are you yelling at me?
Mm-hmm.
Get over yourself. 3 phones repaired in an hour? It depends on the phones, but yeah, usually we can do more than that. If there's simple problems, they're quick. We can knock them out. Now, I'll keep that in the memory banks now. If we ever see that again, we know LDO is bad. So replace and be happy. 15 minutes? Alright, we'll see you then, Anthony. Alright, as soon as Anthony gets off, we're in the stream, guys. No, I'm joking.
How's the rose
So-
gold port $1 higher?
I don't know.
That's stupid.
Charge port?
Yeah.
Don't order it. It's the same fucking color.
Oh. Well, shit.
Rose gold, charge port is white.
It says gold/rose gold.
It's white.
Okay, so just get.
Yeah, white
your
charge
extra
ports.
Silver.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever color you want to get.
I want purple.
There should be black ports and there should be
Silver.
silver ports, yeah. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Cart.
Can you harvest some for me? I can pay for them. I don't have good hot tweezers. You don't need hot tweezers. You use hot air to take off connectors from the board. If you want, I'll show you how to remove a connector here. Do you want to see that? I can show you right now. I've got test boards or parts boards next to me. I can pull one off. Actually, I got an iPhone 6 here that I need to put a new charge port on because the guy that has a store here lifted one up and pulled a pad, so we have to fix that one anyway. So we'll do that one right now. Has it been getting cold? Yeah, it's not like crazy cold, but it's been in the 30s.
Here.
Yeah, it's warm in here. We keep it toasty. Toasty.
Toasty.
Toasty. Alright, so this is the one where he said he pulled a pad. Okay, there it is. Hopefully that goes to a component. Looks like it does. Looks like it goes right here. Hillary, you think you're so fucking funny.
If you read this, you're gonna laugh.
No, I'm not.
My battery's about to fucking die.
Didn't get success plus.
It's not even that funny, is it, Chris? Oh, Chris, you're a magician.
Did I show you my magic tricks I learned? Watch this. It's crazy.
I already saw it last night. I have it on
Seen
video.
this? Seen this?
Oh, gets me every fucking time. Oh.
You're not allowed to teach our child anything.
Yes.
I'm gonna amuse the crap out of him.
Yes.
Hillary just busted her screen on her Samsung.
Hillary's screen's busted.
No, it's not.
Please hurry.
I knocked some components off over here too. I gotta replace those. Alright. TMI. What are y'all talking about? Better than David Copperfield. And you all got to see it for free. How about that?
They ain't charging no money.
Not money even charged on this.
It added too many. God damn.
What'd you do?
Fuck. Because this thing is so slow and stupid. Like it won't. It said it didn't add it. So then when I went to add what I needed, it doubled it. So I just have to edit it when I go to the stupid freaking thing.
Stupid freaking thing.
Yeah.
There's another pad down there that's loose that is lifted a little. Right there. That little guy right there is loose as a goose. Alright. What's that on? A pad? Is that normal? Oh no. The little piece of metal? No, that wasn't normal. Alright, so we're going to salvage this and some components from this little guy here. And we're going to do a how-to on removing FPCs and salvaging them for other ones. Hillary, standing up, picking her nose. What does she do? She picks it. Picking that nose. Get away from me. Sometimes I pick my nose and call myself Hillary. Alright, so quit farting on Kenna. Jesus.
They have the premium front camera flux. Shall we go with that since they're out of the regular?
Sure.
It's $850 instead of $375.
Their premium are just pulls, is what they are. Means that it was pulled from another iPhone.
Do you want 5 of those?
Yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we're going to heat this connector up from a distance. If we get too close, it's going to cause it to melt.
When are you guys having Thanksgiving?
Thursday at Barbara's.
So slowly going to heat this up.
You're not having it at your house?
We're going to wait for it to melt.
Oh.
Just looking for it to melt. Alright, it's starting to melt.
Deep fried turkey down at Barbara's. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Alright, it's almost ready.
Calling on them
There you
and
go.
stuff?
No, I haven't said
So
anything.
now we have ourselves a removed
with us if you
FPC.
want.
You want to pull your heat away as soon as you pull it, because if you don't, this thing will curl up quickly.
I think we're gonna get down there like 12:30 so we can start deep frying the bird.
Bird. Bird is a word. Yes, same process for that removal. Okay, so now we're going to try to place this down
Back camera's expensive.
where it needs to go
$20.
without melting it.
That's crazy. $20.
20 doll hairs.
For
The
a back
iPhone 7?
camera. No, for the 6S Plus.
Oh, well then you just get a few.
I was getting 3.
Okay.
That's a few, right?
Insane.
Okay, so we're going to heat this up. There it goes. It melted. Now we're going to go back in and touch up the pins. When you do it, you burn it. Well, you got to find that equilibrium of heat and not too much heat. Once you find that, you're golden.
Stay golden, Pony Boy.
Stay golden, Pony Boy. And I'm just going to go through here and tack all these legs down. Tickety tack.
Now we're on to settings.
I'm going to go ahead and touch up these pads with some leaded solder, since I'm going to have to put components back on them.
This is gonna be a good size.
We need to jump that one there with some wire. Maybe 10 pin up my iron here. Alright, all the pins are soldered. Now we need to make our jumper and replace this missing, most likely, capacitor down here. Could be a filter, but
What the fuck?
Ken is having a hard day.
Who did ask an email about the dog training? You need to train your dog?
What am I harvesting that you need? You literally can buy all these pretty much new. It's sorcery. it's far from sorcery. If you're melting the connector, what does that mean? Your heat's too high. If you're not melting the solder and you're not melting the connector, what's that mean? Your heat's too low. So find that in between and then you'll figure it out. Just keep in mind, solder is not meant to melt instantly. If it melted instantly, then it's not doing a very good job. It takes a little warm up time. So don't crank your heat up crazy high just because it's not melting right away.
Why do I have more hours than Sandy?
Is she on vacation?
Or Scott?
Alright, now let's run our jumper wire.
No.
Is the camera fixed? Yes. The camera
Can't
is
see it.
fixed.
Okay, what model laptop do you have?
What is it?
MacBook Pro 13 inch. Let me get a price real quick.
Anyway, with that one thing, like
Oh.
you just want to talk about.
What is it?
Oh yeah, yeah, it's always pricey there. Where do you get the MacBook Pro screens, Chris?
Usually Amazon or something.
Huh?
Amazon or something.
Okay.
What year is it?
It's a 2015. She said
It's
Apple
gonna be
said
expensive.
450.
It's gonna be expensive, yeah. It'll probably be pretty close. It's a Retina screen.
Yeah, that's it.
You need to buy it in the full assembly,
Full
not just the LCD panel. If I can get this wire down to the connector, I'll
How
be
much
happy.
were you
just these.
You might have to go on eBay to find it.
Yeah, it's pretty pricey here. Let me look on another
Just what?
site real quick.
She's on the phone. Alright, jumper is running.
I'm not seeing any 15s
What?
on here. This is 2015, but it's
Ask her if it's an A1502.
Here, guys.
Is it an A1502?
Bye.
The model number's on the bottom of it. See ya, Hillary.
See ya.
Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen.
Ciao.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we need to scavenge this guy right here. So put a little flux down.
Okay, so it is A1502. Oh no, you're fine. So let's see.
Just look that up. A1502 LCD.
That's what I'm doing. Let's see.
Check the condition of the casing. Should be looking at 55 labor on it. Alright. That should do it. We'll clean that up.
Oh, that's like minor.
We'll just tell her we can get her one that has a few like minor scuffs on the back of it for a cheaper price.
We can get one that has a few little minor scuffs like on the back, because like the whole thing's gonna have to be replaced, and it's a little cheaper. It would be like $325 plus tax. The screen itself is like $270. You're welcome. Okay, no problem. Yeah, like if you ever want to get it done, you can just bring it down here, and like you can either leave it with us.
Give
or
out
pay
freebies?
for the part.
We are on the last
Up to
video.
you. Okay, alright, thanks. Bye.
On the last video, we're doing a giveaway on some of the items we did reviews on. What'd she say?
She said it's usable.
No.
Apple is $450.
Yeah, I mean they're just expensive. There's nothing to do about it.
Oh no, it's also I said it's the screen price.
Alright, so let's see if this connector actually works or not. We got it plugged in there. Let's see if the
Where was
TriStar reacts.
So I can order battery. Battery.
Okay, so we have no reaction from TriStar. Make sure that we didn't break our connection there. No, it's still connected. Alright, let me see if maybe this port is bad, because that one is worn out. I don't know if I have another 6 Plus laying out here though. I have 6S Plus. Let me grab a 6 Plus charge port. Put this iPhone 7 one back up. iPhone 6 Plus. Alright. Connect this. Okay. Let's see, does TriStar react? Still nothing from TriStar. So, makes me wonder one of two things here. either A, some of the components underneath the underfill are lifted, or B, well, there's three options here. It could be maybe the coils under this cover that are for the boost circuit for not chestnut, for oh, never mind. He pulled off the battery MOSFET, so I need to jump this. It won't work without this. Can't pull any power without this part. Alright, let's see if it acts now. Should react now. You got none? Okay, so still no reaction from TriStar. We probably need to do TriStar though, because as I was looking over there, TriStar has been messed with. It's been scraped at, so let's go ahead and replace TriStar. What's up, Anthony?
So iPhone 7 and iPhone 8 have the same speaker. Or have the same earpiece
Digit, we haven't chose anybody on the giveaway yet, so if you comment and like the video,
What are we giving away again?
stuff back there. Parts from Union Repair.
Oh, the things you touched.
Okay. Got TriStar off.
Hello. I'm eating pretzels, ordering stuff for the shop. What are you doing? Yeah.
Okay. And we need to clean up the excess underfill here. Final eating since 10
I'm gonna go to
a.m.
Walmart in a little while. I just gotta finish this order. Yeah, I am too. That's why I'm eating pretzels again. Weird.
Alright, let's put TriStar on here.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, we do. Okay. Alright. Jeremy comes on iPhone 4.
Okay.
Brandon being a jerk for some reason. So she, like, he was even being rude to Jace. So she, like, took Jace and they left. Not cool. Don't want to get something to eat, but I told her it would be for fun.
Okay. New TriStar is on. Let's clean up the area. Okay. One more try. Will it talk to TriStar? There we go. Now we have TriStar communication. Alright. So we will test this with the baseband issue phone screen. Since I don't want to go grab another screen just to test this out. Main thing we're looking for here is that it shows the Apple logo whenever we plug in the phone to the charger without anything else connected. It should try to boot and then fail because there's no battery connected. But we should be able to at least see the Apple logo. I move that over so you all can see it in the side camera there. Plug it in. Let's see, do we get, there we go. So Apple logo. And it'll reboot here because we don't have a battery hooked up, but we have now fixed this board. This one was originally a short on the board that we found, and then the previous guy had tried to diagnose it and remove the battery gate and was digging around TriStar, and then ended up kind of messing up this area, so we got that all fixed. And we have TriStar recognition now, we have boot, so this one is good to go. Apple Pogo. We'll give his parts board back to him, so he has something to pull from. There's David's.
You done?
Yeah. We'll do.
Baby?
Yep. And now on to the next, the baseband for the iPhone 6 Plus. iPhone 6 Plus baseband. Alright, so we need to see, first thing I want to do before I even touch baseband is we're going to pull this apart and look at it and replace baseband PMIC first, because chances are that I don't think that having the IMEI missing can cause the baseband to fail to restore, because baseband still works even though you can have IMEI missing. The baseband itself can still be flashed and still properly respond. So I think we're running into a power issue here with baseband. So we'll check and see what's been done on this phone to kind of get a view of the landscape and go from there. See you, 3X. How to repair a pad removed with a paper clip. What do you mean a pad removed with a paper clip? Like repair it with a paper clip? I don't know. You probably have to ask MacGyver if you want to repair it with a paper clip. If you want to repair it with a soldering iron and wire, you will need to find where the pad went to. Run a jumper from that location over to where the pad would be, glue it down in place, and then put your chip back on top of it, or your component, or whatever it is. If you're trying to fix it with a paper clip and some bubble gum, you're going to have trouble. Oh, paper clip to remove a SIM card? What did it hit that it removed a pad from? So this board originally was a touch LC done by another company. Alright, so baseband PMIC, so the back's already been missed, it's already been removed. Let's look up here. Okay, so they did a jumper. That should be good. Everything looks fairly clean. Looks like this has been through an ultrasonic. Yeah, it has. because that sticker is missing, and that always goes away when you ultrasonic. And this board's really clean for something that's been worked on. We got a solder ball down here. Let's see what that connects to. Maybe that's an RF line, some type of RF power line. So we got a solder ball right there at the bottom that's touching what looks to be some type of capacitor. Hopefully, if we're lucky, for an RF power rail. And by removing that, it will cause baseband to work. I doubt it, but we'll find out. That is USB 5 volt. That's pretty crazy that this thing works, and it's got a solder ball connecting 5 volts to ground. But we'll remove that. And that. So that cap right there is a USB 5 volt cap. Pretty shocking that that was still working. Alright. It's a mess, no tray, all the plastic's gone. I just did a SIM card tray earlier today. It's not terribly hard. Anyone know if a normal backlight filter works on iPad Pro touch filter? Yes, it will, Ian. Duct tape and bind your twi. Sounds good. Alright, so let's test the outputs on baseband PMIC. So I'm going to do a quick beep test, continuity, to see if I can find any shorts quickly.
Do we have anything to do in the back, like on the to-do shelf, or are we waiting on anything to be ordered?
I mean, there's stuff to do, Micah.
Let's work on that computer, Chris.
On your phone.
Okay, drivers.
It's the new iPhone computer. What drivers?
I just installed Windows on it, Chris.
Which one?
One of the new ones.
One of the new what?
One of the new laptops.
We got plenty of computers to do that aren't new laptops. We got one here that's no backlight.
Well, I didn't know
We've
about
got the
that
Dell
one.
in the back that
Which
you
one's
said
that one
wouldn't
there?
boot up. The lady came in earlier, the backlight turns off on it.
Well, I didn't even know about that.
We've got the Dell in the back that needs to be done. There's another one in a bag back there, a National Geographic bag. I have no idea what it is.
That one's done. Other than the battery that's supposed to come in. It's supposed to come in this week sometime.
Okay. And there's another laptop under it. What's it?
I don't know.
So I'm not getting any shorts. So let's replace baseband PMIC. It does look like somebody's had tweezers on it, and it looks like it may have been replaced already. You can tell that somebody's grabbed this because if you look there and there, there's chips in the plastic, which usually is an indication that the chip has been messed with.
This is what you're right.
Check the cap next to the one that was the ball. USB was working, so I don't think that that was the problem. Yeah, it's not shorted.
You're wanting the 10-pack or like the glass part?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
iTunes Air 1146. No, I've never seen that one. iTunes Airs can be all over the place, though. I would try just restoring again. Sometimes it can be a connection issue or something like that. Problem is, it's a Samsung. Samsung.
It's gonna be over 300 items in that part pretty soon.
Yep. Over $1,000.
Oh, it's. We'll see. It's about to pop up and show you how many dollars is in there right now. I think I have to delete like 5 things or 8 things because
Because it's just small parts.
yeah, this is all small parts. This is everything that we made the list of the other night.
I don't think it's gonna open.
Huh? No, it's. This is how long I've been having to wait to put things in the cart. That's why I'm sitting here. I'm like, click. And I'll go through and click everything I need, and then I just have to wait for it to put it in the cart before I click the next thing. Otherwise, it forgets everything, and then it'll double something. So, I've learned what not to do.
You've learned your lesson.
Yeah, now I just have to wait patiently.
Alright, so let's remove this baseband PMIC.
We're at 1,700 right now.
Okay.
Holy heck, Jesus. They're out of front camera flexes for 7 hours.
Okay.
I'll have them notify us.
They won't.
They won't.
No.
It doesn't work.
No.
Oh. Then I've been clicking that for no reason. Bullshit. That's cool. I'm regular.
Okay, PMIC is off. I pressed it down, so those bridges are caused by me, not they weren't there, so.
You don't get the screens from here, do you? You get them from that place? Elevate Supply?
Yeah.
Okay. And the LCDs from that place too?
LCDs can come from Mobile Centrics.
Okay.
Oh no. Big old solder blob. Come here, Mr. Solder Blob.
Are their digitizers not good or just not?
No, they're not high enough quality.
Okay. But you said I can get the LCDs.
Yeah. They're digis, they're copies. I do not like. I do not like them, Sam-I-am. I do not like them, green eggs and ham.
Batteries are good for me.
No.
No.
Well, I like to get iFixit.
For
So,
all the batteries?
yeah.
You didn't
We
tell me.
or they're okay for other things, but
Then you need to mark off all the batteries?
Yep.
Okay, because you didn't tell me that the other day.
Yeah, I
You
get
said we're
those from
making a
iFixit.
mobile-centric.
no, get those from iFixit.
Ugh.
Mobile Centrics batteries are okay, but iFixit batteries are better. And that is not paid. They did not pay me to say that. That is from testing and experience.
I would have been done by now.
What's the story with this one? The guy said that he did a touch IC on it. The phone shut off and it was sent back. He said he did a restore on it and it gave him error -1, which is a baseband error. And I have confirmed through testing that it does indeed have an error -1, which means the baseband is not receiving its update, or whenever it tries to talk to baseband for its update, it's failing to communicate.
What did you say for batteries? Batteries for,
Stop buying all Centric small parts.
I fix it. Is that what you said?
Anthony, who do you buy them from?
Where?
How do you test iPhone batteries? As in what? Test them to see if they're good, or test them to see if they hold up? What's that? iFixit for batteries, yeah. I ordered $300 worth or something the other day from them. I'm gonna be broke by the end of this week.
Because I like to spend money.
We're gonna spend fucking probably $8,000. How much for screen? 700.
That was just for
That copies,
copies. That was
and then
7.
plus our OEMs.
Yeah, that's from Seth. So I don't know what those are going to be. But he does have them ready Monday.
How do you test wear and tear? The only thing you can do is really just buy from one company and see how long they last. We bought Mobile Centrics for a while, and not all of them are bad, but we had some that returned. While I was in Nashville for the unconference thing, I talked to Matt Perez, who used to work at iFixit. And Matt asked me if I wanted to switch over. Where the fuck are the iPhone 6 bag? I put it up? I think I did. Hold on one second. Let me grab it.
I fix it. Do I do that online or do I have to message
Yeah,
back?
online.
Okay.
On their website.
LCD one is the one we text.
Yes. We won't need anything from them.
Good.
Shouldn't at least. Hopefully you set this
So if
right
we
around
have a
right
time-
around what he owes me.
Okay.
I don't know, he owes me like $300 something, $400 somewhere.
There was plenty of screens up there. Like 2 boxes, and then we had like 3 stacks across the back.
So anyway, to finish up the story, I talked to Matt while I was at the unconference, and he was like, "Here, try out iFixit and see what you think." And since we had some issues with the Mobile Centrics battery, some of them coming back with faulty cells within a few months, I was like, well, let's give them a shot. So we switched over to iFixit, and I haven't had any return for that issue. So until I start seeing a problem, there's not a problem. So until we have any come in with issues, I'm just going to keep on going that route with them. I don't like some of their screens they sell. I think they buy really cheap screens for some stuff. But their batteries seem to be pretty good. And until that is proven otherwise, I'll keep on them. I have no allegiances to any company. If they sell a good product, I'll say they sell a good product. If they sell a bad product, I won't buy them. Not that I won't buy anything from that company. I'll buy stuff from that company, but I won't buy that specific item. Who else got a battery test machine? You can use 3U tools to test battery capacity and stuff. Like, a battery tester only tells you what the board's going to tell you. So, like, if you have a bad cell, it's not going to tell you that until the cell dies. So longevity testing can't really be done with any type of tester per se, unless you have something that just constantly cycles the batteries until they crap out, and then you can tell how many cycles they've done and do a base test off of that.
Will you go get turkeys with me later?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't want to go alone. Okay, Walmart. Let's see what we got. It'll be after 7 before I finish this.
Okay. Get that done. Yeah, they sell battery testers. They'll read out the battery specs, like if the cells are good in it or not, but it can't. I haven't seen anything that's going to tell you if the battery cells are going to hold up or not. I'm sure it would be easy to make something that can just discharge and recharge the batteries over and over and over until they fail, and then you can kind of get an idea of how many charge cycles they'll last. But again, that's going to be battery to battery. So I've had Mobile Centrics ones that work perfectly fine. I've had some that fail like in a month or so. So I just have the stencil in my hand, and I put it down. Where did I put it? No. I put it back up. I put it up. It's a good habit to put it up, unless you're looking for it. Then it's a bad habit. Okay, this thing's dirty as shit. Clean it out. That's for the transceiver, but I'll clean it anyway. This is baseband, I think. Oh, that's transceiver also. I know, that's baseband. Alright, cool. Is it worth it for the cost of an OEM battery? I don't know of anything such thing as an OEM battery, DNA. Most of the batteries you buy that say they're OEM are not going to be. It would mean they have to get them directly from the manufacturer for Apple, and Apple doesn't sell to anybody. And anything usually coming out of that factory that gets snuck out is usually defective parts that don't meet testing. So the MOSI line is OL. I've never known how to fix it. I think I had one that was like that. I think the line is on the front end of the CPU though. You can hit it, but it's very fine. I think it's on the second layer down or something like that. Or first layer whenever you get into the CPU. The one I did, I fucked up. I tested on a test board, but in actual practice did not work. Yeah, the same thing with me, Jessa. I cut into one, but then on the one I actually did, I ended up nicking the line, and it's like extremely thin from what I can remember. And it cut right through it immediately, so I was kind of up shit creek. We got one that didn't stick there. Come on. Go to your home. You're not going on your pad. Alright, so we got one that's not on its pad there. Let's push the IC out and see. Got a couple of them that aren't on their pads. So whenever you have something not on its pad, you want to gently heat it up, not to blow them around on the chip. There we go. They all seated on their spots. Mr. Super Rush same day. Yeah, the one you were working on earlier, Jessa. I've got an iPhone 6 that has no touch. That was a liquid damage repair. And I used one of those keyboard adapters and got the passcode in there, but I can't click trust. So it's kind of a disappointment. I don't know what's causing it. I assume it's an I2C line because I don't have the great voltage. I've checked all the data lines and everything, and it seems okay. I guess I'm just going to have to sit down and pull the chip and diode measure every pad under it. Show us on the doll where it hurt you. These phones can be very, very frustrating at times. I've got a whole box, which I know is going to be frustration. I've got 20 iPhones that were sent in by one of the guys that I know, and he works on phones every now and then, so these are the ones that he doesn't know how to fix. Some of them might be easy, but a majority of them are probably going to be nightmares. Okay, so we got our baseband PMIC back on. let it cool for a second. R0303. Which resistor is that? It's the I2C line for backlight. Alrighty, let's see if this thing will restore now without airing out. If it does air out again, we're going to have to pull baseband and see if maybe there's a fracture under it and reball it. Oh yeah, the I2C line's right above the backlight. Yeah, that one does get fucked up pretty easily. I don't know why I'm hooking up the antennas, but just have it. Not necessary to see if it'll restore baseband. Alright, let's hook this up and see what it does. What's my soldering station? Hot air or my iron? My iron is Hako FM 203 with the BM's, I think it's BCM2 or 3 tip. Jessa, do you think that line is open due to improper plugging in of the screen or because they got heat near the CPU? Alright, so let's try restore again. Here we go. Let's see what it does. If we can get our camera back at a right angle. Alright, so normally baseband these will fail about halfway on the restore. D&M, most likely that's false advertisement. Apple does not sell any parts legally to anyone. If the company that was making the batteries was selling parts out from under them, they would be sued by Apple. Jess, if you clamp the front end of the CPU, does it work? Alright. Sending the trust data currently. Should start writing here in a second. It's getting close to dinner o'clock. Yep. Alright, so it's rewriting the system right now. The little black bar is started over here. Just I think here soon, hopefully when I get caught up, I'm going to start doing some practicing on iCloud lock boards for doing CPU reballs. Hopefully not in vain. Even CPU reballing, it sucks. Yeah. All out of like the 5 or 6 that I've attempted on parts boards, the best I've gotten is I've gotten back to DFU mode. I was happy I got back to DFU mode, and I didn't have any shorts on any of the CPU lines anymore, but I couldn't get it out of DFU mode. It would try to restore, and then it would give me, I think it was like error 50 or something like that. Something to do with the SD RAM. I almost wonder if I should just buy SD RAM new reballed. Well, not new, but already ready to roll.
You want a power button cable? Or is there an actual power button?
Huh?
Did you want the power button cable, or is there an actual power button?
That's it.
Okay, they're out of those.
Okay, that's fine.
That's for free.
Alright, slowly but surely we will get this one done. I wish there was a way to hotkey so this main screen would switch positions. I wonder if you can group these. I bet you can group these. And I was gonna see if I could group cameras to turn them off and on at the same time. I'm sure there's a way in ZX or in OBS to do that. That way, when I want to show you all on the main screen here, I can flip the one on the smaller one to the side, so you still see the microscope. The PS3 reballs. Oh, PS3 GPU reballs. 99.999% of them are all internal failures on the flip chip. Alright, so we're getting to the baseband portion right here. We'll find out here shortly if it fails. If it does, it'll hang up right there and I'll get an error. It'll probably reboot actually, but we'll see. It's at 60% on ZXW. It's going to jump from 60 to 80 here in a second. Alright, so it's at updating Stockholm, 80%. Next will be baseband after Stockholm. We'll see if it fails. Updating baseband. Please don't fail. Don't fail, little dude. Come on. No, it failed again. Alright, so we gotta pull baseband now. Audio IC fault on the 7 requires restore after chip changing. I don't think you have to. I've changed out the chip before and didn't have to restore it, Jessa. I had one that was lagging that I replaced the audio IC on, and afterwards it was still acting weird. I forgot to chant. I had a feeling this was going to be baseband related, but I was hoping and praying it wasn't. I did PMU first, it's easier. But now on to baseband. We did 2 of them yesterday. Won't hurt to do a couple more today. Alright, so board holder. Let's take off our baseband shield here. I didn't hold my tongue right? Yeah, it's probably right. Alright, so take off the baseband shield here. We'll check the power rail caps on the front side here too for any shorts. I didn't get any shorts or anything on the back side, so I highly doubt I'll have any on the front side, but you never know. Okay, it's about to lift. There we go. Take the baseband shield off. Okay, let's take a look at the area. Let's check for shorts. iPhone 7 do not have a bad dial reading at C12 on audio pad, but grade, voice memo, and lag hit dependent on each. Yeah, I had one just like that. It was a 7 Plus that had grayed out voice memo and had laggy touch. We replaced the audio IC and ran the jumper, even though the jumper had diode reading was good. It still was laggy. The only way I was able to fix it was to actually downgrade it when iOS 10.3.3 was still available. After downgrading it, audio and everything worked perfectly fine. It was an OEM screen, so I really didn't know what was causing it.
Wi-Fi cable for mini 1, 2, and 3.
Wi-Fi cable?
That's what you have. You had 2 Wi-Fi.
Oh,
Plus.
okay.
That's what you want?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Alright, so I don't have any power shorts here. This is all chestnut related, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so we do have a slightly low ohm resistance there, but it is going up and this is still hot, so you can see if lag, right? No sim, assume sim check fail time, so no baseband is very hot. A lot of baseband shorts on the i7. Yeah, I've seen a lot of random shorts too. Where's the baseband, so the phone waiting for pickup. Are you sure when you're testing you're not missing some data lines in the OS? Probably has some lag error than built in so you can fool our phones without actually breaking them. I don't know that it's necessarily anything to do with an algorithm or anything. I think what they've done is they've changed the programming to react differently to resistance. Like kind of like the iPhone X has laggy touchscreen response whenever the temperature dropped. I think that the only way that they could do that would have to be some type of response trigger based on either voltage or resistance or something. I don't know how software could affect the touch response without being directly tied to some form of the hardware. So I would think that lagginess has to be, well, the lagginess on the iPhone 7, if it has to do with the audio, has to do with the fact that I believe the line that gets damaged is an APE line, and anything that's tied to the AP processing, which is, I think it's active process or something like that, anything that's tied to that line, if it's messing up, it's going to make the processor kind of lag up and slow down. So it's like having a bad RAM stick on a computer. It can cause the whole system to lock up and slow down. Alright, so let's take baseband off and go ahead and reball it just to see if that fixes our issue. To my knowledge, the EEPROM is right here. I don't know that you can change that on the baseband, maybe you can, but I don't think you can. So if this chip or the EEPROM is faulty, I don't know exactly what I can do beyond this point. I don't have a... They do make programmers for these, but I don't have it, so... Okay, this should be getting close to the point where it'll lift. Alright, it's got a little movement, but not enough yet. Let's get more directly over the chip. Still not enough movement. Need a little more than that. Okay. Got baseband off. Reball looks good on it. That doesn't mean we didn't have a bad connection, but we will go ahead and, while we're here, go ahead and do the jumper. And see if for some reason that if the IMEI is missing, that can somehow change to the quick, hot air. I will when this one dies. This one's gone for 2 years now, so the day this one dies, I will switch to something. Although the quick, the only thing I don't like about it is the nozzle head is just so fucking big. Kind of gets in your way when you're trying to work under the scope, so that's my only complaint with it. Otherwise, I really like the unit. I like the presets is the main thing. Alright, so that's all cleaned up. Let's snip off a little piece of our braid, lower our temperature a little bit so not to overheat the area too much, and let's wick it up. Okay, most of it done. Let's flip it around here. Alright, it's all wicked up. Clean up the area. So that's never. This unit will eventually die, I'm sure. I mean, the heating elements in them can go bad. You can buy the heating elements for really cheap, though. So, if the heating element's the only thing that fails, then by all means, I'll just replace the heating element. But if the actual control board or the pump or something in it fails on it, that's when I'll make the move. This unit gets a lot of flack, but it does its work. It does what it's supposed to do, and it has been doing it for a while now. Okay, go ahead and scrape my via here. Okay. Put down my jumper wire.
What is their login
It's not good to drop a phone on the floor. Let me see here.
It's whatever is saved on here isn't right.
Let's see what.
Um,
No, it should be right. Click the Facebook login. Maybe that's how it's set up.
well, it would go by mine, I think.
Oh.
Let me just. I'll do that in a second.
Okay. Let me see how it's signed in if it says.
I think that's what you had to do last time. was
Yeah, it's through Facebook, I think. Alright, so jumper time. Turn it in the way that's most comfortable for the way I'm working. It's the number one rule that you should really learn, and the board doesn't need to be comfortable.
Do you want me to order? You said these are the same way, the iPad Air / iPad 5.
Digitizer,
You had
screen.
no, like the ports and everything. Are they different? I'll look.
The screen is the same. I don't know about much else. They might be.
We'll see.
Okay. Hold my jumper in place. Okay. It's tacked down now. Okay. Well, fuck me. If it'll stay in the hole. There we go. Pull it around here. Figure out on the back light.
Sticks.
Cable?
Yep.
Sweet. Does it stay on? Because earlier it would come on and then shut off after like 10-15 seconds.
No, it stayed on all the way to boot.
Yeah,
Log
it stayed on all the way to log in for me too, and then would shut off.
Yeah. I'd watch it for a little.
Yeah, leave it on.
Good.
up this. No, the wire connections, because that usually fails on these. So the connection usually fails on the 6 Plus series, so I went ahead and jumped it because I mean I'm going to charge it for it anyway. I've got to remove baseband, I might as well do it. There's no sense in not doing it. No. You don't have to tap it. It'll go out without it.
Because the laptop's going to get knocked around. Good.
No, it was just UV like curing the wire in place, so it doesn't move on me whenever I place the baseband back on. This one's LED, is the one I'm using.
Alright, I'm heading out.
See
Alrighty.
ya.
I thought the door was still open. Oh, no wonder I couldn't take the chip off earlier. My temperatures were.
So there's no charge ports for our iPod, I guess.
Okay, no big deal.
Just making sure I wasn't missing something.
Okay, reball again just to make sure that our solder balls are tall enough. Because with that jumper under them, we do need them to sit up a little more. And one pass won't create very large solder balls. Two passes will. I'm sure it was. Because
Well, that's why I brought to your attention, because it was like 30 minutes from.
I know. I thought I told him when I handed it to him that the backlight would stop working on it, but I guess I didn't say it would stop working.
I think it was the backlight. That's the numbers.
I'm gonna test it again because I want to make sure it stays on. It might stay on for a little while, but I want to make sure it stays on for a long while.
Yeah.
Not even a cup of coffee? Yep. Working on boards, you don't get a whole lot of breaks, especially when you got a fuck ton of them to do.
And you don't drink coffee.
And I don't drink coffee. I am thirsty. I do want to drink though.
Do we have anything?
Yeah.
What the hell's in front of the fridge?
His giant amplifier. There's none in there, no.
It's kind of chill.
I'm going to hold this in place until we start to see the flux boil. Okay, flux is starting to boil. I'm going to pull my heat away. That should get it close enough that I can let the chip kind of slide into place. It's going to shift to the right here because it is off to the left a little bit. I don't want that flux to boil up too much though and cause the chip to kind of float too high. So if it starts boiling like crazy, I kind of back off just to give that solder some time to kind of melt. There you go. So the chip slid over into place. I'm going to heat it for another 5 seconds. Give it a little nudge. And it's done. So we'll let it cool. And then we'll test the caps around baseband to make sure we don't have any shorts. And we will try again. If it fails again, I'm going to guess that we have a baseband CPU issue. I'll check around and see if there's any shorts anywhere, but my guess is there's going to be a baseband CPU problem that's not allowing it to restore. Could be EEPROM. I don't think you can change EEPROM though without reprogramming it on the baseband EEPROM, so even if that's the case, there's nothing I can do. I'm checking to make sure that it's level. It looks level. We're going to clean this pretty well. I'm going to make sure that there's no flux under the chip. So by adding alcohol and then spraying, you can see it pushes out the
Battery
flux.
tape on here, or is it on a different
The what?
battery tape?
Yeah, you can order it there. Alright, let's pull this thing and test it and see what happens. What type of tweezers do I use? They're in the description. They're Vetus ST16s. They are a fine tip stainless steel tweezer. They're very cheap and affordable comparative to other tweezers on the market that are much higher cost, but not necessarily much higher quality. These tweezers stand up to quite a bit of abuse that I give them. They do eventually have problems and break, but that's usually because I'm using them for purposes they were not intended to be used for, like prying up things and stuff like that, which ends up causing issues because you're putting stress on the end of them, and they're pretty fine tips. So there are finer tips out there that you can get, but normally what I do if I need a finer tip is just take a pair of these, take a file, and just file them down. You can make them very, very thin if you need them to be. Alright, so the phone is back into restore mode, and we're going to try to restore it again. So,
You want 25 of each?
yeah.
Okay, because they're like different for all phones, right? From 5 to
No,
7.
there's only 2 strip and 3 strip.
Okay, we'll see.
Just buy them for the 6. They'll work on all of them for the 5 series. And the 6S and the 7, and then buy the 6 Plus. It'll work for all the bigger ones.
Okay, so do for 6 and then
6 Plus.
plus.
That'll work on all of them.
And you want 25 of each kind?
Yes.
Okay, then. That makes it.
Alright, let's see if it'll restore. Or if it'll fail again. I have a feeling it's going to fail again. I don't normally see -1 for baseband problems unless the baseband itself is having issues. Or the PMIC for baseband is fucked up. In this case, I don't foresee that. I didn't check for shorts, which I'll do that if it fails. If it has shorts and fails, I'll pull baseband and reball it, put it back on. Alright, it's almost to the part where it's going to start sending data. Alright, should be writing data now. Yep, the bar has started. So we'll wait and see. If you want to buy any of the things that I have, they're linked in the description to my Amazon affiliate account. I do get a little bit of kickback from it, and it doesn't cost you any money. So if you don't mind and you want to buy something on Amazon, just click that link and it'll give me a little kickback on it. Again, it doesn't cost you any money. You don't have to pay any more than it normally would be. So there's no markup or anything on the parts. You believe it's going to work, Spectre? I hope it will. We'll find out, I guess. I had an iPhone 7, was it 7? No, 6S, that had error -1 after I did an and reballed the baseband and got it working, but it had no IMEI number. It was really annoying because I redid baseband several times and never could figure out why. It kept giving me the error. Well, it didn't give me the error after restore, but it wouldn't give me IMEI. The error would never occur anymore. It's gonna boot so hard. So hard.
Dude. My big one went away.
Threaten the phone to put it outside. I don't like to get I don't like to be hopeful on phones because they don't tend to work sometimes. Especially on stuff like this. Things where you're kind of having to guess why the baseband itself is not taking software.
What do you want to eat tonight?
I don't know.
Chick-fil-A?
No,
I love their tea.
you can't. Tweezers aren't available? Okay. If you want, once you click the link, just click in the search bar and search for the Vetus ST16s. And then it'll, as long as you click the link first, it'll still give the kickback to it. I'll type it into the chat what they're called just in case. It should be in the description, but Work, motherfucker, work. 1,500. Okay.
I'm making sure that everything is what I put in. Their website's been kind of stupid.
ST14 needles. Balling. Not really. Money going out. Not coming in. We probably spent.
Today?
Well, last night was $760 something. And today, another $2,000 almost.
It makes it $2,900 altogether. After this order, but that's not counting.
Do I have an inline amp meter? I use the Kayazi or whatever it is amp meter.
Might do the batteries.
TS14 Vetus needle tips. I haven't seen those, Stuart. Or Stalwart. I'll have to check that out. TS14s. Alright, so we're almost to baseband section. It's at Stockholm right now. We're going to see if it fails again. Alright, it's at baseband now. Up, it's sending baseband data. It didn't do that before. It might work. Please work. Work, motherfucker, work. Before it would say baseband, then stop. It didn't say sending baseband data. Come on. If this works, it's just gonna go. Nope, it failed. Fuck. Fuck. So it failed again. Same error. Failed again. Let me pull. Let me pull the. I'm gonna check the caps around here, and then I'm gonna pull the EEPROM here and reball it, just to make sure that that little fucker is working. All right, let's check for shorts around. So there's no shorts. Yeah, there's no shorts around baseband. Oh, this guy's shifted. I wonder what he has to do. What do you do, little dude? You got shifted over and I didn't even see it. That is U2205. What do you do? Oscar. Okay, I think that has to do with the gyroscopes or something. 3 volt. Yeah, 1V8 Oscar. That has to do with like the. I'll move it back, but that has to do with the gyroscopic sensors and all that shit.
So the 6S Plus silver charge ports, those are the same on like. Oh, they're all white on all those colors.
The 6S Plus.
Yeah.
I just use the silver ones. I don't buy the white ones.
Well, that's what it is. They don't have white.
Yeah.
They're all silver.
Yeah.
So how many of those do we need to cover like all the colors?
For 6S Plus, I would just get 5. let that cool for a second, and let's put some. I'm gonna switch it over your cam, see what I'm doing. So this guy here was out of place, but I moved him back. Now I need to pull the EEPROM here. We're going to reball the EEPROM just to make sure. No, it's fine. Alright, let's grab our little EEPROM guy here.
I think I'm just gonna order the batteries and stuff tomorrow.
Okay.
This has been treacherous.
Let's see who's got the right spacing for this guy. Almost. Let's see, does the RAM have the right spacing for this little dude? RAM does. There we go.
Do you have David in your other phone?
In my personal, yeah.
Okay, because it's not saved in the work phone.
Okay. Clean this up a little bit. Need to redo that one. That corner one is not the right size. There we go.
So we're down to 1425
On what?
on her instead of 15 something.
Oh, okay.
Because I changed lines and stuff, because I told you I've messed up a couple of times. And then I've seen that one thing was the same as another thing, so I took one off and I just have one of those off.
I gotta clean this up so I can read it. Did you send out that Columbus's thing today? The tab?
The tab column.
The little board?
He took the first two things that I did, so I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I did. He took them when he came and got them over there. That's the thing and then anything else. And we needed the iPad mini one for that thing here, right? The LCD.
Yes, the LCD.
That's why I had two of those in the cart. Well, let's update again. I was like, I had two of those. I didn't put two of those. Yeah. Let's update one more time. And then I'm gonna check in tomorrow.
Shit. It slid over on top of the resistor here. Gotta reball it again. Stupid fucking thing. Can't just fucking settle down on your pads. You gotta slide over on top of the resistor. Okay.
Tomorrow will be the day of painting shit too.
What?
The electric place, the water sewer trash place, and fucking Amazon. I'm gonna ask them, is there any way we can get it so we don't have to pay that much? I put the business, like tax ID number, whatever. Maybe I can make it better with my social. That's what she had first, and then I got that number from you, so I just changed it.
It won't matter. They just break businesses, period.
I don't know.
They're like,
Sucks.
oh, you're
That's a
a
lot of
customer, individual, that's fine. We don't need any deposit. Oh, you're a business and you can afford to pay for this? Well, we're gonna need $3,000 down.
373 and what, 2 something, and
Mm-hmm.
that's stupid. Good and easy here because we didn't have to put anything in our name.
Mm-hmm. Die, motherfucker, die, motherfucker, die.
Cassidy's didn't anything.
This time we're gonna kind of tap it down there.
Just let me buy it.
Okay, it's starting to go over there. Let's add a little bit of flux. And we'll let it go into its spot. There we go. Alrighty. That was overly complicated for no reason. Overcomplicated. Alright. Can it pass restore without the EEPROM? I don't think so. The EEPROM kind of gives it the okay to restore. Same with the CPU EEPROM. Whenever you do a restore, the EEPROM for the CPU has to be okayed before it'll even start. So if EEPROM is not working, I would assume that it would not allow the baseband to restore because it would give a failure, like whenever it checks it. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain on that. The EEPROM is there for, I think it's just to keep you from rolling the firmware back. Like it does a check on it to say, is the firmware legit? Is it newer or whatever? And it says yes, compared to what the EEPROM is stored, and then it'll let you go to whatever firmware or whatever it okays or something like that. I don't know, it's some type of flash memory, I'm pretty sure, that is updated during the restore. Gives IMEI confirmation? Okay. I would assume we will have IMEI again, there's a chance here that I'm doing all this and baseband CPU is dead, or the EEPROM itself is dead, one or the other. So all of this could be for naught. This is the one. I hope so. What chip holds photos and contacts? The NAND. The NAND is the chip that holds that information. I'm actually working on a NAND right here. It's a 6S. I gotta unbundle the Wi-Fi to it, but this is the NAND chip for a 6S. My reader is being stupid today and doesn't want to sync up with the software, so I'm going to dual boot and install Windows 7 on this computer, so the UART USB serial bullshit that it uses is more compatible, because Windows 10 doesn't like it. Oh yeah, definitely good practice. When they do iCloud bypass, I don't know that I'm pretty sure they transfer the CPU EEPROM. I don't know if they transfer the baseband EEPROM. They might.
This is the longest list I've ever had. Still like all 14, 58.
Do I keep Samsung screens in stock? Yeah, I like cheap ones. Yeah, you can read the data off the EEPROMs. They make programmers for them. Is Linux not better? Linux doesn't work with this software, so it won't. Can't really use it. What happens is this thing uses a UART connection, so every now and then my Windows 10 will just stop talking. Like, it'll recognize UART and it will say that it's working, but it will not communicate with it. And it's done this on 3 different computers. I'm not sure what to do other than use Windows 7, because Windows 10 it's picky. Sometimes it works flawlessly, sometimes it doesn't work at all. You can't save data directly from the NAND because the data on a NAND is encrypted. Is it really considered a bypass? Yes, it is a bypass in the sense that you could take a phone that's like liquid damaged or something, or broken in half, and if you knew the IMEI and stuff on it was good, you could transfer it to a known working board. An iCloud board is the perfect one to use because you can't use it any other reason. It's technically not really a bypass. You're just taking one known good phone's critical parts and swapping it to a new one. This one's USB based, so I've plugged it into every USB port I have, and it comes up in Device Manager. I can set and do anything I want on the actual UART port, but I can't read data. Like, my software sees that this thing is plugged in, and it tells me to switch this into higher priority or higher elevation of security or whatever, which means you put it in the read-write mode, and I click it into read-write and it doesn't read the chip. It only does that when the UART is fucked up, like it's not communicating properly. Yeah, I wish it was easy. Is it hard to fix an iPhone 7 home button ribbon that's torn? Yeah, it's pretty difficult. Alright, we're getting to the baseband portion here. It's at the end. It's at 60% right now. I should jump to 80 and do Stockholm next. Depending on which cable on the 7 home button is torn, it's difficult. Just really depends on which one. You can't transfer the NAND to a... Okay, it's at Stockholm now. Can't transfer the NAND without transferring the CPU, the EEPROM, and the baseband. So pretty much you have to transfer more than just the NAND to actually access the data. Alright, it says updating baseband. And failed. -1 again. So I have a feeling that we have something else wrong here. Because even if all of the signal chips didn't work, which wouldn't matter, baseband should still be able to turn on. I think this one's probably a lost cause. I'm going to check tonight and see if you can replace the EEPROM on the baseband and just restore it and see if it'll work that way. I don't know if this one can be restored per se. I don't want to wipe the data if that's the case. I'm just going to have to kind of call this one and call it a loss. For now, at least. All power rails present in baseband. If they're not present, I don't know why they wouldn't be. Try rehot CPU. No. We've replaced the baseband PMIC, which creates all those voltages. Let's see. I don't think there's any type of boost. Okay, there's a boost that goes through this coil here, so we can look at that coil. This coil here can fail. That is a boost coil of some sort for PMIC, baseband PMIC. But I highly doubt that coil has failed. And I say that, and it looks like it's failed. Oh no, it hasn't. There it goes. I didn't puncture the oxidation layer there. So that coil is good, as far as we know. All these caps are fine. We don't have any shorts. So either the EEPROM is fucked up or the CPU is fucked up, is my thinking. That's my thinking. Have it worked on the 7 or 7 Plus? Not yet. That's up next, actually. We've got one more box and then yours. We're gonna put this one to the side for now. I don't know if I have anything else that I can really do. This is the camera one, so we got that one fixed. So we'll charge probably $60 on that one for the part and labor for the camera and for the other work.
We don't have iPad Air 2.
We don't do those. Air 2 is ordered
Oh,
as
that was
needed.
parts.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Ordered as needed.
That was ports. Never mind. Sorry.
Late night? Yeah, pretty late.
I'll just look. Make sure I
Digit? No, I have not. CPU reballs are extremely difficult. I can transfer everything else, but CPU is a pain in the dick.
put everything that's on here. 5, 30, 4, 4, 3. I'll do the batteries tomorrow.
Alrighty. I think that's pretty much it. I think I'm gonna go home.
Yes. So tired.
We only order Air 2 LCDs when they're needed. Since they're so expensive now, nobody really wants to do them. I do have I've got like 4 or 5 Air 2 LCDs that are good, like touch and everything,
We don't need
but I
anything
need to get them
else.
refurbed.
That's all we get from them. is
Mhm.
things.
Well, we buy cases from them, but
Do you want to wait? Yeah. Wait to get them. Okay. Well, let's stay in our cart.
no,
Well,
just hold on.
order milk.
Yeah.
Okay. I just asked if you want to wait. He said,
Why did they get so expensive? I think it's because the supply is low and the demand is high. I don't know why the LCDs are not being made, but evidently they stopped making the LCDs, so the only ones that are really out there are the ones that were done. Like the refurb market is about the only place you could probably get them cheaper, but anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for whoever donated. It's always appreciated when you all donate. Again, if you don't want to donate, perfectly fine. These videos are here for free. If you do want to buy something on Amazon, if you want, click our link. It doesn't cost you anything. It just gives us a little cut of that. We get a kickback on it. But anyway, everybody have a good night, and I will see you all most likely tomorrow. If not, next day. See you later.